A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. In the interest of maintaining the schedule, we've decided to continue. And if the minister does come, we would either take him to the exhibition and have him cut the ribbon at that point of time. But currently, I'd like to be able to start the program. May I please request Shri Deepak Kumar, Executive Director of the ITPO, to join me on the stage. May I also request Shri Sachin Garg, Associate Vice President, Emerging Technologies of Markets and Markets, to join me on the stage. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 27th Convergence India 2019 Expo. It's also co-located. Events are the Internet of Things India Expo, Embedded Tech India Expo. Now, these are two new events that we have added on to the Convergence India series, looking at the way technology is emerging and looking at the future. So once again, a very good morning to all of you, guests, ladies and gentlemen. As I've already said, I'm pleased to welcome Shri Deepak Kumar and Shri Sachin Garg to the stage. Thank you for taking time to inaugurate the 27th Convergence India 2019 Expo. India has an annual GDP growth rate of 7.4%. This is one of the largest in the world. India is also currently the world's sixth largest economy, and it is estimated that we will be the fifth largest economy during the year 2020, and we're expected to be the fourth largest economy in the world in the year 2021. According to a World Economic Forum report, India will be the third largest consumer economy in the world, behind the USA and China. Consumer spending, as a result, is expected to grow from the current $1.5 trillion per year to around $6 trillion by the year 2030. We've already seen that much of the progress in terms of the GDP as well as consumer buying has occurred during the last 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also very interesting to note that manufacturing in India has emerged as a key growth sector alongside the Make in India initiative. This is something which has occurred over the last 4 years. India is also expected to be amongst the 5 largest manufacturing countries in the world by the end of next year. The government expects to increase the share of manufacturing from the current 16% of GDP to 25% of GDP in the next 3 to 4 years. We're also expecting to create up to 100 million new jobs. The Commerce Minister is, as I said earlier, unable to come because of a bereavement with Mr. George Fernandez. But some of the ideas that he would have talked to us about and the programs that the Ministry of Commerce is expected to put into progress is the relaxation of norms for the approval of FDI. And this is by doing away with the role of the Department of Revenue. This is something which has already been initiated. We are also mandating that all proposals be cleared within 10 weeks of receipt of the applications. Now, the Prime Minister last week had enunciated that India has already made enormous progress in the last 4 years as far as the ease of doing business is concerned. And he has specifically mentioned that he would like to see India amongst the top 50 countries or nations in the world as far as the ease of doing business in India is concerned. FDI inflows are growing steadily. We're all aware of that. And the cumulative FDI in the manufacturing sector was $77 billion during the last 8 years. Let me take that. Sorry. Well, I disconnected, but that was from the minister's house. FDI, as I was saying, has been spurred, and we've had $77 billion come into the manufacturing sector alone in the last 8 years. The total inflow of FDI in the last April to June period has been 132 billion, or between, yes, in the last, from April to June has been $132 billion. Quite substantial sums of money. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because of the e-commerce sector as well. Communications and convergence, the backbone is the backbone for creating the e-commerce business. And we're expecting the e-commerce business to grow into triple digits to $200 billion by 2026 from the current $40 billion right now. And you've experienced in the last 2 years the kind of investments that have been made in the e-commerce sector by investors from overseas. One of the very interesting things about the inflow of funds into the e-commerce sector is that the beneficiaries of this is really the MSME sector. And just to illustrate a case in point is IKEA. IKEA, in the last few years, has pumped in money into taking the unorganized sector completely and trying to give them an organized way of functioning. And if any one of you are familiar with what happens in Mirzapur Bhadoi, in the Mirzapur Bhadoi belt, you will know that the carpet weaving sector by itself is so unorganized, but IKEA today has created, and I can give you just one particular example of one, what would you call them? A manufacturing unit, which currently has 3,000 workforce working in a factory location, of which I'm told something like 18 or 19% of the employees are women who've never worked before. From an average monthly wage of 3,000 rupees per family, we're now looking at incomes of up to between 16 to 20,000 rupees per month per family. So all the beneficiaries of the e-commerce sector are essentially largely the MSME sector. Very interesting point. And this is all part of the Make in India program as well, which is what the government has been trying to give a fillip to. So concurrently, the fillip to the startup sector. Many startups are focused in mobility, in e-commerce, and technology verticals. They are creating jobs and contributing to the economy. They have in fact become the face of a new India. And shining examples, as we have seen, as I've said earlier, not mentioning names, but now I can, are Flipkart, Snapdeal, and Paytm. Enormous success stories. This event, therefore, is important from the point of view that today technological innovations can disrupt entire industries and change the way that we do business. Contracts based on blockchain can reduce cost of transactions, enticing corporates and governments to do more. New applications, software improve productivity and allow companies to personalize technology to suit user needs. Very, very important. So what have we got? We've got smart access devices. We've got 5G networks, which is imminent. We've got an improved internet service capability. And all of this allows access to new business opportunities with a click of a button, and it doesn't matter where you are. Just the other day, we were talking within our office that we have flexible work hours in the office. But beyond flexibility in terms of work hours is the opportunity for people to work from wherever they are. And that's what convergence and communications is all about. Indian IT is a top choice for people to do business with, both in the terms of onshore as well as offshore business opportunities. And we have, I'm told, something like 220 odd companies which offer services from overseas offices, Indian companies offering services from overseas offices. And what are they delivering? They're delivering access to smart devices, now to 5G networks, etc. Indian IT, as I've said, is a top choice. IT-enabled services have been growing enormously. So this year's Convergence India, IoT India and Embedded India are co-organized with the India Trade Promotion Organization, as well as with NASSCOM's Center of Excellence, which is the COE IoT, and ourselves. This combination by itself offers a platform to domestic and international ICT, broadcast, and digital media industries to come together. And we are beholden to them for the fact that they continue to come to us year after year after year, as they see this as a great platform for them to be able to generate business for themselves. We take pride in the process that is changing the landscape of the Indian ICT scape. This is something which has been being promoted by the Prime Minister himself, and we're looking at the disruptive technologies which will continue to emerge as we move into the future. So what do you experience at Convergence? There's the Internet of Things, there's cloud computing, there's big data, there's artificial intelligence, there's virtual reality, there's social media, there's wearable technology, there is aspects pertaining to education, healthcare, clean energy, commerce, telecom, financial services, transportation, logistics, cable, broadcast, satellite, and media. And we cover a huge gamut of industry sectors. So we acknowledge the Prime Minister's Digital India campaign. This is an important vehicle for change. Technology-enabled innovations like digital payments, hyper-local logistics, analytics-driven customer engagement, and digital advertisements are the future. When you go around the expo, you will see that we are looking at adding fintech to the program as we move forward from 2020 onwards. So with increased mobile penetration, what do we get? We get affordable data services. You have a large number of smartphone users, which is projected to grow from 290 million to 340 million shortly. 490 million by 2022. Smartphones have become the most successful consumer product in history. Nearly 4 billion of the 5.5 billion adults of the, more than that, 6.5 billion adults on the planet now have smartphones. The latest phones contain amazingly clever technology. And CES has been a great example of what has been happening what has been displayed last week at Las Vegas. You've got 3D face scanners, cameras assisted by artificial intelligence. You can access, edit, plan, create personal information and business plans, make mobile payments, control smart home appliances from wherever you are. There is no limit to what can be done using a smartphone today. Mobiles play the role of computers as they become smarter and as networks become faster. So at Convergence India, we expect that you will see some of these technologies as well. I'd like to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by thanking you once again for being here and for being, many of you have been faithful supporters of Convergence India, and I'd like to thank you for that. And I'd like to now welcome my guest, Shri Sachin Garg, Associate Vice President, Emerging Technologies, Market and Markets, to say a few words, following which we have a knowledge paper which we will ask him to release, or we'll ask Mr. Deepak Kumar to release, and that will then conclude the ceremony with a closing remarks by Mr. Deepak Kumar. Mr. Garg. Thank you.
Very good morning, everyone. First of all, very sad to hear about the loss that we had recently about our former defense minister. Sorry to say, but we have to proceed our program. So I'm here to launch our knowledge paper, which we have executed with the help of our partner, Executive India Group. So it's always great to be a partner as a knowledge partner so that we can contribute something, an initiative by government, that Digital India initiative, and we can share our knowledge on that program itself. So in our knowledge paper, we have shared some trends, driver for telecommunication, media, and IoT, which are the three main tracks for this particular event. Somehow there are so many bubbles or huge words about IoT and the telecom or what's happening in digitalization. So we, as a market research and consulting firm, just try to validate those buzzwords and try to give a number to those all emerging trends. Right now, we are having such a largest subscription of telecommunication, like 1.2 billion. We are having a huge population, and somehow we face that's a difficult challenge for India, then how to take care of such a large population. And technology is the only medium through which we can face all these challenges, and it's a must for Indian economy. At the same time, this population is our strength because we are having such a large user base in terms of social media, in terms of the data coverage or anything. That's why we are able to attract so many investors for Indian market. If you ask me, or whatever analysis we have done for IoT, Internet of Things in India, then we need to set our priorities first of all, because we have to see how we are going to get the return on investment. Maybe first we have to start from Industry 4.0, that is industrial IoT, because this is something where we can get first ROI from the manufacturing and that can contribute in our Indian economy. We are expecting from digitalization more than 1 trillion can be contributed to Indian GDP. And after that, the main thing, which is security and the surveillance. Right now we can see, even recently in Prayagraj, Kumbh Mela is getting organized, and you can see how many surveillance cameras are there. And on the real-time basis, we are able to check what type of security labs are there. That is one of the examples we are having for security and surveillance. Even for the smart cities, we have seen what's happening in Bhubaneswar and the Rajkot. So many online traffic management programs are there. So these are the two main priorities, I would say, Industry 4.0, then security and the surveillance. And even we have seen in one of the mining case in our East India, if that could have been an IoT-enabled program, we could have saved such type of scenarios for sure. After these two, there's a priorities like environment or the health sector. For let's take the example of maybe Ganga River or pollution in a city like Delhi, where we can monitor all type of the air, gas sensor on a real-time basis. And the last thing is the ease of life or the quality of life, where we are focusing on the smart appliances or a smart speaker or maybe a smart kitchen appliance. That is at the level of the end user. Plus, covering IoT, we have focused on some emerging technology trends as well in our knowledge paper, which is going to launch very soon. So right now, when we talk about IoT, it's not a standalone technology which you can talk about. With IoT, you have to talk about artificial intelligence, augmented reality, 5G, drones, all these things have to come together, which we are calling as a technology convergence. And it's very much matches our theme, that is Convergence India as well. Because I was having a word with someone else, then they wanted to implement IoT in their organization. And he was saying, okay, I am going to invest maybe 2 or 3 million for my IoT-enabled program. And somebody else is come there saying that I have to implement AI and AR, VR as well. So I cannot invest again and again for each and every technology. I need a solution where I can have all these technology once in a single time. So I need a solution for all these technology together. Okay, let's take an example of drone itself. In case I'm having a drones which are having some imaging cameras or maybe a thermal imaging cameras, they are checking there is a frost there is a fire in a frost, and you have to share that information through 5G technology to the cloud, and that after that, that information will get analyzed, and somebody on the ground who is just having a command and the control system and analyzing all those things, he has to see all those things, augmented reality, then they have to share the feedback. so that any action can be taken. So in such type of example, you can see your drones, your IoT, your AI, analytics, augmented reality, each and everything is covered and connected. So such type of solutions and the application we have covered in our knowledge program. So I won't take much time. I will request you to read that knowledge paper and share your feedback with us. Thank you very much. So,
yeah. So, will you please hand over? Copies of the knowledge paper will be available, ladies and gentlemen. You can pick them up as you go out, I believe. Are they available to be distributed? Just to give you a little bit of a background, Minister Mr. Manoj Sinha had also confirmed that he would be here. So did Mrs. Aruna Sundarajam, Secretary. But again, I was told last night that the Prime Minister had called a meeting and therefore they were not going to come. Though the message was that Mr. Prabhu would come, and as late as 9 p.m. last night, he was confirmed that he would be here on time. So I'm sorry that I'm not being able to oblige you folks with the ministers themselves. May I now request Shri Deepak Kumar? I must thankfully acknowledge that the ITPO has been a very responsible partner as far as Exhibitions India is concerned. We have a good working relationship with them, and it's a very mutual relationship in as much as I seek as much assistance as I need to put this program together from them. And conversely, we're working very closely with them to be able to improve the processes and procedures of the exhibitions industry in the country, using ITPO as the medium or the fulcrum to be able to organize that in terms of improving the way the exhibitions industry works and operates within India. You will all see that there is a huge construction program which is taking place externally, and this is a large amount of money which has been allocated and expenditure which is being incurred to give us a world-class exhibition and convention center right in the heart of Delhi. And we're waiting very impatiently, I would say, for this program to be complete so that we can start using the new resources. But may I please request Shri Deepak Kumar, Executive Director of the ITPO, to say a few words.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, friends. On behalf of ITPO and Exhibitions India Group, I thank you all for being here early this winter morning to inaugurate the Convergence India, Internet of Things, Embedded Tech and Mobile India Expos. Interactions and interesting and educative sessions here will strengthen and facilitate government and private initiatives in Digital India and Internet of Things. As Mr. Prem Behl told you, and you must have seen for yourself, ITPO is carrying out massive redevelopment plans. We are bringing up something beautiful and world-class. ITPO is investing 2,700 crores for this, aided by government, and we are building up about basement parking of 5,000 cars, that is about 42 acres of basement parking, underground tunnel, 6-lane tunnel, which will connect India Gate to the Ring Road, and which will make whole of Mathura Road signal free. We are building 6 underpasses, and on top of that, world-class convention center with 7 more exhibition halls. So all this is coming up, and right now the things are not really good. I really appreciate the trust that you have imposed us, and you are bearing with us for coming to this venue and putting up with the infrastructure that we have. Things are going to improve. They are going to improve a lot, and we need some time, maybe another 1 year. By September, we are planning to complete it with all restrictions. Once again, I thank you all for being here at this inaugural function. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Having communications is a great thing, mobile communications particularly. And I could give you many, many anecdotes of what has happened in the past. But the message here is that he's on his way. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know. But we will disperse. Thank you very much. The ceremony for the inaugural is complete. I have one book, please, which I'd like to give to Shri Deepak Kumar. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll complete that and disperse. And I'll try to get the minister to walk around as much as he can to visit you at your respective locations. Thank you very much. We'll just complete with this formality. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Shri Prabhu, Minister, Union Minister, Cabinet Minister for Commerce and Industries, as well as for Civil Aviation. So may I please request you to come onto the stage, and so may I please request you to come to the mic straight away. You could take the mic, sir.
So let me express my great happiness over all the different segments of the industry coming together to showcase their capabilities, their technologies, their products, their services. And in a way, it's actually convergence of all companies, technologies, ideas together, which in turn will shape the future of the new world. We all agree that the future lies in digital world, and digital technologies are themselves changing so rapidly that it is anybody's imagination as to where it would ultimately lead to. India offers opportunities for others, but also offers their own capabilities to the rest of the world. India's real strength lies not just in holding a technology, but having a population which has a huge ability to produce new technologies. Therefore, to capitalize on what we already have and to make sure that we build on it, this exhibition, I hope, will be the beginning of that process. We have some very good organizations within the country which have actually produced good results in the past, and now they look forward to working with the rest of the world to make even a better products, better services, better solutions, because that's more important. No longer product is important or the service is important. What will be important is a holistic solution to an issue. And therefore, that is what we'll be able to provide. I really congratulate all the participants in this, and also Mr. Prem Behl for organizing this event on such a massive scale. I am sure we'll, over a period of time, will continue to grow, not only in terms of size, but also in terms of better quality solutions that we'll provide to the people. Thank you very much.
So would you like to say a few words about the center that you are creating? The exhibition center. This is